Hey everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to make this card using our Holiday Ornaments stamp set. So I started off by stamping the round ornament in our Valentine red dye ink, and I just stamped it on some regular cardstock. After I stamped the round ornament, I stamped the little base that comes with the stamp set in our Smoky Quartz dye ink. And once I die cut this little piece, I'm just going to glue it on top of that round ornament. Next, I'm going to heat emboss the smaller solid ornament in some silver glitter embossing pattern. I'm using my Misti to help me stamp all three of these ornaments at once. Once I spooned on my embossing powder, I'm just going to hit the whole thing with my heat tool, and then I'm going to die cut all the individual pieces using the coordinating dies. For today's project, I'm really just stamping and assembling my card together. There's no coloring involved, and sometimes I like to take a break from all the coloring that I'm doing by just doing some straight up stamping with some of the stamps in our collection. So once I've die cut all the ornaments using the coordinating dies, I'm just going to stamp two of our holly branches on some regular cardstock. For the first layer of our holly branch, I'm going to stamp it in our soft garden dye ink. For the second layer, I use our bright fern dye ink. Then for the berries, I use a combination of Valentine red and spice chai. These two are really great combinations if you want to get a nice bright red. For my card today, I need two holly branch clusters. So as you can see, the way that I'm stamping using my mini Misti, I never move the stamp once it's placed. I just kind of turn my cardstock over and I just stamp it a second time on the top and bottom portions of my panel. And this allows me to stamp two layered stamps really quickly. Once I finish stamping the two layers of my berries, I'm going to stamp the branch in our warm hazelnut dye ink. Once I finish with all my stamping, I'm going to die cut both branch clusters using the coordinating die. So I just tape down the wafer thin die with some micro pour tape, and then I run it through my die cutting machine. Now I have all these beautiful individually die cut pieces, which I'm going to assemble. But before I do that, I'm going to take our Poinsettia garden background stamp. This is a 6x6 red rubber cling stamp. And I'm just going to ink it up with some Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky embossing ink. And then I have a panel here. This is just some red cardstock. And I'm going to stamp the Poinsettia garden stamp onto the panel. Next, I'm going to pour on some clear embossing powder and hit the whole thing with my heat tool. And this is going to give me a really beautiful, clear embossed holiday pattern on this red cardstock. I chose to go with the clear embossing powder for this because I wanted a more subtle background, but I definitely wanted a little bit of texture that's going to go behind my ornaments. So now I'm just going to start assembling all my pieces together. I just adhered the little base onto the top of my round ornament. Next, I took some silver metallic string and I looped it 3 times so that I have 3 strings. After I've looped it, I'm going to just cut it off from the spool and then tape it behind each of my ornaments because I didn't want to just have it hanging from one piece of twine or string. I wanted there to be a little bit more substance. So that's why I looped it 3 times, and I'm going to do this for all of my 4 ornaments. After I taped on the twine, I'm just going to trim off all the excess so they're not showing behind my ornaments. You want to make sure that the length of twine is a little bit longer because we're going to adhere this behind the panel after we have popped up the ornaments onto the front of the panel. So you want to make sure that they're a little long, otherwise you're going to have trouble adhering it onto your card panel. Once all the holiday ornaments are popped up on the front of my embossed panel, I am going to pop up the 2 holly branch clusters at the top of the panel. So they are going to cover the top portion where the twine is. But you want to make sure that you trim that twine so that it's long enough so that we're able to fold it back behind the panel because we are going to tape it securely behind that embossed cardstock. Once I've popped up all the ornaments with foam tape, I'm going to take each grouping of twine and just kind of twirl it around my finger a few times, and I'm going to pull it back behind the panel and secure each line with a few pieces of tape. If you don't have micro pour tape, you can use Scotch tape or washi tape. Whatever adhesive you have on hand will be fine as long as it's taped securely behind the panel. Once the ornaments are down, I'm going to start adhering my branch clusters. I just use the mini foam dots to make sure that all parts of my branch cluster are supported. Next, I'm going to trim off all the excess pieces of the holly branch cluster, and you're going to see that I'm cutting off some fairly large pieces of the cluster, but these are not going to go to waste because I'm just going to adhere these on top of some portions of both my clusters so that the top areas look a little bit more fuller. I even use these little tiny pieces of the holly leaf that I cut off, so none of it really is going to waste. Now I am almost done with my project, but we need to add a sentiment. So I took our basic banners and I'm going to take the scroll-like banner and I'm going to heat emboss this using the same silver embossing powder that I used for the smaller ornaments. Then I'm going to take the sentiment from the same holiday ornaments stamp set and stamp it right into the banner using our Smoky Quartz die ink. Next, I die cut the banner using the coordinating die. Then I just simply adhered it right onto the holly leaves right above that round ornament. Next, I adhered the stamp panel onto a top folding A2 card base. Then to finish off my card, I'm going to embellish my project using our silver holographic sequins. And these come in two sizes, so they're really great for creating really pretty dimension and sparkle on your holiday project. So that's it for today. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my project and video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because I do update our YouTube channel regularly every week. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.